For years, fans of Rick and Morty have debated why Morty never seems to age. Despite the wild interdimensional adventures, endless trauma, and years of story arcs, Morty has remained 14. While the show often bends rules of continuity for the sake of comedy, this detail has always stood out. The idea that time is somehow frozen around Morty has sparked countless fan theories. Among them, one of the wildest yet most intriguing is that Morty is intentionally trapped at this age by forces far greater than himself. Season May 8th finally be shifting that dynamic, suggesting that the writers are ready to explore what has kept him stuck. The theory centers on the idea that Morty is locked at age 14 because of Rick's manipulation of time and reality. The show has already established that Rick has near godlike power over dimensions, timelines, and even memories. From the time fracture episode to the revelation of multiple Mortys across realities, it's clear that age can be flexible in this universe. If Rick needs a partner who remains perpetually impressionable and reliant on him, freezing Morty at this stage of adolescence makes sense. A Morty who grows older might resist Rick's control, question his methods, or even walk away entirely. Keeping him young preserves the dynamic Rick prefers. Another angle is that Morty himself may be part of a larger cycle that spans across universes. Evil Morty's arc in earlier seasons hinted at Mortys being trapped in endless patterns designed by Rick's. If most Mortys are destined to remain 14, it reinforces the imbalance of power between them and their Ricks. This would explain why no matter how many seasons pass, Morty's voice cracks stay the same, his awkwardness lingers, and his school life never seems to advance. The structure of the Citadel and the concept of an infinite multiverse make this possibility more plausible than it first appears. Season 8, however, is showing subtle cracks in that formula. Morty's dialogue has grown sharper, his tolerance for Rick's antics thinner. He no longer plays the pure victim, and he's starting to demand explanations instead of blindly following orders. This could be the first sign that the writers are allowing Morty to age, not necessarily in visible years, but in maturity and agency. By giving Morty more backbone, the show acknowledges the unsustainable nature of keeping him trapped in permanent adolescence. The storytelling potential here is enormous. If Morty begins to age or break free from his imposed stasis, the relationship with Rick would be forced to evolve. A teenage boy dependent on his grandfather is one thing. A young adult questioning his own place in the multiverse is another. This shift could bring a new layer of emotional weight to the series, as Rick confronts the possibility of losing the one person he can manipulate into traveling with him. Season 8's changes hint that the creators may be ready to explore this territory rather than resetting the board endlessly. Fans have already picked up on these cues. Online discussions point out that Morty's body language is different, his confidence more visible. He's less willing to be the butt of every joke and more willing to call Rick out on his cruelty. If this continues, it may lead to storylines where Morty either escapes Rick's cycle altogether or becomes something closer to his equal. That would be a dramatic break from the formula, but one that could revitalize the series as it heads deeper into its run. Ultimately, whether the theory proves true or not, it speaks to the power of Rick and Morty's storytelling. The show thrives on absurdity, but its longevity comes from grounding that absurdity in character dynamics. Morty being stuck at 14 has always been a strange detail, but if Season 8 is indeed shifting that pattern, it could mark the beginning of the show's most ambitious phase yet.